Many people are afraid of snakes. Most times, snakes are shy and harmless. However, once in a while, you hear stories of venomous snakes and just how deadly they can be. Welcome to Fanatics, where we endeavor to bring you unusual and exciting stories in history. Today, we'll look at 3 unusual cases of death by snakes. Remember that these instances are incredibly rare. You're more likely to die from being hit by a car than from being bitten by a snake. But beware, if you don't like snakes, you might want to hold on to something. So without further ado, let's get started. Kevin Budden. Kevin Clifford Budden was an Australian amateur snake hunter and herpetologist. In 1948, he started hunting snakes as a hobby and built his own snake pit. Eventually, his work was instrumental in developing an anti-venom for the taipan snake. Taipans are one of the most deadly snakes on the planet. Taipans are snakes belonging to the genus Oxyuranus of the elapid family. They are large, fast-moving, and highly venomous and are endemic to Australia, New Guinea, and New Zealand. There are 3 species, of which the coastal taipan has 2 subspecies. Budden and 2 of his colleagues traveled to Queensland in March 1950 to try and capture a taipan. They had previously been to Cape York and the Northern Territory for similar purposes. Before this date, many people had tried unsuccessfully to catch a live specimen of the elusive and deadly snake. There were many rumors about the taipan and its deadliness. Prior specimens had been captured in 1923, but they were dead, and the venom samples were contaminated. Other people who had hunted the taipan simply never came back. Budden captured a 6-foot or 1.8-meter taipan close to Cairns on July the 27th. Budden carried the snake in his hand and caught a ride on a passing truck. He then took the snake to another local snake trapper, where it was confirmed as a taipan. Budden was bitten on his left thumb while trying to capture the snake. However, he was able to place the captured snake in an appropriate bag. Budden was then transported to the hospital after he promised the truck driver he would take the snake south to researchers. At the time, there was no antivenom for the taipan snakes. Instead, Budden was given tiger snake antivenom. While it helped to counter the coagulating effects of taipan poison, it didn't stop the second side effect, which paralyzes the nervous system. Although doctors initially believed he would recover from the attack, he succumbed to it in the afternoon. Despite Budden's injury, he was still able to keep and capture the taipan snake. As a result, it was sent alive to the Commonwealth Research Laboratories in Melbourne. There, zoologist David Flea successfully extracted the venom from the captured taipan and made an antivenom. It was available in 1955. Even before the end of the year, the antivenom saved the life of an 11-year-old Australian boy. Budden's story and his sacrifice prompted efforts to capture more snakes and create more antivenoms. Over 60 years later, a snake researcher tested a venom sample that killed Budden. He found the venom still toxic after nearly 60 years of dry storage. George Went Hensley. George Went Hensley, born on the 2nd of May 1881, was an American Pentecostal minister. He was born in Cleveland, Tennessee. Hensley was born into a large family, which had previously moved between Tennessee and Virginia. He settled in Tennessee shortly after his birth. Hensley was a father to 13 children and was married 4 times. Due to his drunkenness, frequent travels, and inability to earn a steady income, Hensley was often at odds with his family. His first 3 wives cited these factors as the reasons for their divorce. Hensley is most well known for popularizing snake handling. Hensley, a native of rural Appalachia, converted to his particular breed of Christianity around 1910. He believed that the New Testament instructed all Christians to handle venomous snakes. After his conversion, Hensley traveled the southeastern United States, educating a type of Pentecostalism that stressed strict personal holiness and frequent contact with venomous snakes. Although he was illiterate, he didn't let that stop him from preaching the scriptures of the Bible. After several years of conducting Church of God-sanctioned services in Tennessee, he resigned from the denomination in 1922 and moved to Ohio. Regardless of the state, his services ranged from small, held in private homes, to large gatherings with hundreds of attendees that attracted media attention. Still, he earned very little and was also arrested at least twice for violating the laws against snake handling. Hensley claimed that he was bitten many times by snakes while in ministry. He also stated that he survived over 400 bites at the end of his career. The day before Hensley died on July the 24th, 1955, he was in Florida conducting a service when he was bitten by a snake. He refused medical attention and died the day after. Even after his death, his followers continued the practice for many years. Although snake handling evolved independently in several Pentecostal ministries in the United States, Hensley is generally acknowledged for spreading the custom to the southeastern United States. UTHRA KUMAR. UTHRA KUMAR was a young housewife. She had been married for 2 years to Suraj Kumar. She was also the mother to a 1-year-old son. UTHRA, who was recovering from a snake bite from a Russell viper, was staying at a parent's house during her recovery. As a result of the Russell viper bite, she had been left entirely bedridden for 52 consecutive days. On May 6, 2020, UTHRA and her husband Suraj went to bed after dinner as usual. Suraj, usually a late riser, woke unusually early the next morning and ventured outside. UTHRA, however, didn't get up at her usual hour. UTHRA's mother, Mani Magalai, called out to UTHRA, but she didn't answer. Worried, the mother went to the room to find UTHRA unconscious and an Indian cobra lying in the room. To Mani Magalai's shock, it appeared that the snake had bitten UTHRA at some point in the evening. UTHRA succumbed to her injuries on May 7, 2020. The Indian cobra, also called the spectacle cobra, is a species found in India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. Hindu mythology and culture revere the Indian cobra. It is protected by the Indian Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. It is part of the big 4 species in India that are responsible for the most snake bites in India. Vijay Sanan, UTHRA's dad, contacted the police a few weeks later after a snake expert examined the home and reported that the incident was not accidental, but rather a result of foul play. The expert had opined that UTHRA was sleeping with her husband in an air-conditioned space, and it would have been difficult for the cobra to have entered without someone intentionally letting it in. In addition, the cobra must have been injured to induce it to bite. Also, not only had UTHRA been bitten by another snake 2 months before, but UTHRA had already reported to her parents that Suraj Kumar was an expert in handling venomous snakes. As a result of this evidence, the police arrested the victim's husband, Suraj, and the local snake catcher, Shavakuraru Suresh Kumar, as possible suspects. Suraj admitted to the crime in a public confession on July 12, 2020. Suraj explained that he purchased 2 snakes from Kumar for 10,000 rupees or $135. According to the police, Suraj gave his wife sleeping pills to ensure she was calm and still during the night. Further, to ensure that the snake would bite his wife, he had put the cobra in a bottle for about 2 weeks, from April 24th to May 6th. During the investigation, UTHRA's parents claimed that most of her dowry was missing. The police discovered that UTHRA's bank locker had initially contained gold. However, it had been removed on March 2nd, the exact same date as her first snake bite. Surendran Panikar, UTHRA's father-in-law, was arrested in June on the charges of concealing 38 sovereigns of gold and destroying evidence, among other things. Police found the gold in a nearby rubber farm. After further investigation, Suraj's mother and sister were also arrested for destroying evidence, giving false information, and accessories to murder. Suraj was found guilty of murder and was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences in prison. This case was the first in the state of Kerala that involved a murder involving a live animal as a weapon. We hope that you like these strange stories of snakes. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe so that we can make sure to bring you more fascinating stories. We'll see you next time.